recently learned that Iran has balked at the prospect of direct nuclear negotiations with the United States and Europe. This sort of resistance and gamesmanship is nothing new. We've seen this before. Iran has long flouted international restrictions on its nuclear program, played hide and seek with UN inspectors, and failed to disclose the full scope of its nuclear research. This happened before, during, and after the Obama administration's Iran deal. Now, thanks to the firm approach taken by the Republican administration, which restored much of the leverage President Obama had thrown away, President Biden inherited a much stronger negotiating position. Let me make it clear, Republicans do not oppose nuclear diplomacy. We hope the administration will secure a better, stronger, and more lasting deal than President Obama's. But to do so, President Biden's team must avoid the mistakes of the JCPOA. Here's how you do that. Coordinate closely with partners and allies who are most immediately threatened by Tehran, and treat Congress as a partner to be consulted, not a problem to be managed. And most importantly, don't give up any leverage for free. Of course the mullahs are playing coy. They want concessions before they even come to the table. In December, after President Biden was elected, Iran's parliament reaffirmed their intent to continue acting out if sanctions were not eased. Well, I hope it is only the Iranians and not the administration's negotiators who need this reminder. Look, the United States holds all the cards. President Biden is the commander-in-chief of a superpower. There are no circumstances, none, in which Iran should get money for nothing. And there's no need to rush into the talks. The administration should take care not to squander our upper hand just to spite the last administration. Nor should President Biden's team discount the value of the growing regional unity against Iran that is embodied in the new Abraham Accords. Every day, headlines remind the world of the threat Iran and its proxies pose to peace and security. For example, the Iranian journalist Ruhollah Zam was lured back to the region from Europe, kidnapped and hanged after a sham trial just in December. The Lebanese activist Lachman Slim was an outspoken critic of Hezbollah until he was shot dead in his car. The regime has kept escalating its support for the Houthi rebels in Yemen, sending in deadlier, longer-range weapons and inciting terrorist threats. The Houthis have escalated attacks on Yemen's neighbors, including in civilian areas, and launched a military offensive that jeopardizes the peace negotiations being undertaken by UN Special Envoy Martin Griffiths. Just last week, an Israeli civilian shipping vessel pulled into port with a gaping damage from a missile attack. And Tehran's pet militias in Iraq have fired rocket barrages against our own American diplomatic and military facilities. They're communicating to the Biden administration in the mullah's preferred language: violence. Like I said over the weekend, President Biden was right to respond to this threat by authorizing strikes against targets belonging to Iranian proxy groups. The right decision. And he is right to recognize the need for new binding and enforceable constraints on Iran's nuclear capabilities. But ultimately, we need a comprehensive approach to confronting Iran. It must be built on bipartisan foundations to endure for administrations and Congresses yet to come. To get there, the administration must continue to meet Iranian aggression from a position of strength and consult closely with Congress for the sake of our own security and that of our friends and partners in the Ayatollah's backyard.